Hello everyone, it's Tuesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I never do this alone. I have the ladies. Hello, YK.
Yay!
How
Good
you
morning.
doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. I'm
You
fine.
seem a bit reserved this morning. Are
You did
okay?
not hear her well now.
Yeah.
YK in the building.
She didn't look the part. She just seemed like a bit, you're a bit troubled. Are you okay?
I'm not troubled.
Okay.
I'm never troubled.
All right.
Trouble will be far from me. No.
So how are you doing now?
I'm fine. I'm fine. The show I hosted on Friday went very, very well. There was this lovely young girl. She was 11. She played the sax. Oh my goodness. She was, I Temilayo, she really, really good. She impressed me, you know, young children like that.
I really wanted to be at that event too. I was actually, I totally forgot about Third Milan Bridge and I wasn't getting ready.
People from,
yes. The moment I just realized, like, oh my goodness, this thing, but I'm so happy it went well.
It went very well. We had loads of people, and so it was very nice. What I wanted to I was watching one TV station yesterday, and they were talking about super eagles, and they referred to them as super chickens.
How could they do that?
That's
What
unfair.
happened? What's going on with that super eagles?
Considering everything that those boys go through.
I think the match they played,
In Senegal.
was it in Senegal? I
I
don't
don't
even
know
know where the
what
match
Senegal
was, but you know they were leading 4-0, and then you don't even know.
I have no idea.
They equalized with them from 4-0.
And overtook them.
No, they didn't overtake them. I think they apparently Nigerians stoned them when they were leaving the stadium. You know,
We haven't ever checked the sports page. Maybe we should.
It was in Sierra Leone.
I don't know where the
played
match. I think it was in Nigeria because they stoned them when they were.
They played against Sierra
It's
Leone.
not even
They
in the
played
back
against
page.
Sierra Leone.
I'm looking for the back
I think
page
they're even
papers.
going to Freetown now
They
for
equalized.
Anyways,
But I
From
think
4-0.
it's unfair.
anyways, we need to get. In fact, we need a sports person. I mean, once in a while, because I have no idea what's going on. Trust me, I don't even know.
So I just said, I must mention it.
No, we are super eagles.
Yeah,
please. We're super
and I
eagles.
also think it's unfair considering the fact that they do not even have enough time to, get ready like other countries. We have a lot of things that are working against us here. So
Why don't we have enough time to get ready?
are they ready? Are they going to provide infrastructure?
Okay,
You don't
let
know
me
the
check-
problem of
let
the
me check how are you doing. Let me know you can cover this matter. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. I have a shout out.
I'm sure
So
you do.
our very own brother, Daniel, who's a fan of, our Daniel now.
Oh, yes!
The sister
Jesus
is
Christ, Nazareth.
celebrating her 13th wedding anniversary.
Yes.
Dr. Akinrinlola Nuruddin and Pastor Chichi
You know, he
Nuruddin.
called me about
Happy
it.
wedding anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
Congratulations, yeah.
Now, Mr. Dan is one of our audience member. He is a studio audience.
A
member.
huge
And he's
fan.
very consistent.
He's actually an actor. I saw him in.
Really?
Yeah.
really?
I said, see Mr. Dan.
So he's
didn't
very
know that.
faithful, and
Yeah.
he's practically gotten his entire family to watch your view. So
Yes.
he sent a, I totally forgot. I'm so happy you remembered. He called me to remind me. I said, I'm so happy. He said he told BC. And once BC is on the show, you are good to go. I totally
forget?
forgot. Congratulations to his aunt. Okay, there's so much to do today. We're going to go on a break now. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Yes, now, Dubai Gold. Hey, we're back. Welcome back. We're going to start with, we noticed BC was wearing plenty interesting things. So moving on to the, let's start with the nation. The Nation. Hashtag NSAS, trillion naira rebuilding of Lagos begins. PDP can't be stampeded into 2023 zoning. December 1st takeoff for the 774,000 public works job shaky. Traders, federal government accuses Ghana of double standards. Nigeria, 69 others countries get $99 billion IMF cash to battle COVID-19. And ASU strike, governors seek shift of positions. All right.
The major story.
Yes, please.
Okay, so we know what happened to Lagos State as a result of the NSAS protest that was hijacked. We had a lot of properties destroyed, and now it's time for us to start rebuilding Lagos. And so a committee has been inaugurated that is going to be handling the rebuilding of Lagos. And according to the CBN governor, COVID and Bankers Council are going to be handling this. So by next week, they're going to reel out all the plans that they have for rebuilding. And the governor of Lagos State is also calling on other members of the society, the non-governmental organizations, the private sector to support the rebuilding of Lagos. They are going to be using trillions and trillions of naira to rebuild everything that has been destroyed.
Right now, so they have that trillion naira rebuild project, and I would even like all Lagosians to participate somehow.
Support.
So if you can get a proper trust fund, even if it's 1,000 naira, even 100 naira, whatever you can do, let us all put our hands together to rebuild Lagos. So I think it's a good opportunity for all of us.
Mrs. Adbike Dabiri on the other has said on another same page that it's not because of the closure of the borders that the Ghanaian traders are quarreling with the Nigerian traders. That they want them to pay 1 million, that it is because they want them to pay 1 million into the Ghana Registration Investment Promotion Council. And she said she says, if it's that, why haven't they driven away the banks? Why haven't they stopped the gas pipeline? So but the Ghanaians are saying, look, we can't sell to you. Why should you come and sell to us? So
in addition to that story, also her issue is that the real reason why we're having the Nigerian traders in Ghana are having issues because they're having it hard to compete with Nigerians. The Ghanaian traders over there are having it difficult to compete because Nigerians, when we go there, we take over the market and we also drop the prices and we seem to be taking all their customers. So they're having issues with that competition. That's the real problem, not so much of the border
closure. That's what she says.
That's what she's saying, according to her.
Mariah, we need to fix our country so that we can stay here. Honestly, it's paining me.
Okay, moving on to Vanguard. Insecurity, army outstretched, says Senate. Federal government links petrol price increase to Pfizer's discovery of COVID-19 vaccine. NSAS, Nigeria needs healing, says Oshibajo. Police seeks 30 days extension for detention of the activist Aromosele Adeni. Vaccine alone can't end the COVID-19 pandemic, says WHO. Okay, which story are we taking?
The major story, yes. So the Senate has expressed worry that right now it seems like the army is overstretched and overwhelmed because they are now handling internal affairs. We know as a result of the happenings of the past few weeks, we've had the army being released, which is against the constitution to go into the streets and handle internal civil affairs. So they are saying that right now the army is in about 33 of the 36 states already, and they have their own internal challenges as well. So he's also, saying that the army would, do more by going to locate the bandits in their hideouts and fish them out, bandits and kidnappers, and also find a way to liaise with the community members, the peasants in those areas where the bandits have their stronghold, that those people are actually informants to the bandits. So they want to see how they can get them to inform for the Nigerian army.
Part of the insecurities that is happening in Nigeria, a driver was shot, mother and her 3 children were abducted in Ondo State. They've released the mother and said they should bring 50 million for the children. There's the one in Kaduna where they said they killed, the report was that they killed 15 people, but the state government is saying, no, it was only 2 people, as if 2 people is not.
I was going to take the Aromosele story because there's only good Vanguard that has that story. Now, this is a young protester, a young protester that was arrested by the police and he's been detained since November 7th, I believe. Yes. And then now the police are now saying that they want to extend his detention for extra 30 days. And his lawyer is saying that this young man was not even at the protest ground during the NSAS protest and that he has a liver issue and they need, he needs hospital care and so they're trying to get him out of the detention. But the prosecutors are insisting that they have intelligence that he was part of the protesters. I'm not really sure why.
Excuse me, my question is, even if he was part of the protesters, is it not his right to protest
peacefully?
Peacefully?
So, because he's been moved around from Lagos to Abuja.
Yeah, they tricked his sister. They said, they said they're calling from the church. Where is he? When they got there, they whisked him straight to Abuja. And
but there's a judicial panel that's been established across all the states. So we need maybe his family members to take this matter up to them because obviously all the focus are now with this inquiry panel, and the story has come to us in several ways. We've been trying to tell us your view to take on the issue. We are going to continue to follow up that story, but we need justice for this young man if indeed he's innocent of what he's being charged of.
Excuse me, you are innocent till proven guilty.
Guilty.
So let us leave that one. he can have his freedom and investigate. You can stop him from traveling if that's your fear that he's going to travel.
Run away.
Okay. Let's move on to the Nigerian Tribune. How Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine find affected petrol price. Driver passenger killed, 9 rescued from kidnappers on Abuja-Kaduna highway. Umahi, more PDP governors will join APC, says Imo governor. FG to deploy 3,700 teachers to states and local government. Presidency CBN legislator back Lagos recovery efforts, and FG's executive order will destroy criminal court justice in states, says Wiki. So Pfizer's discoveries. Pfizer is the company that have finally found the vaccine for COVID-19. So the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timi Previa, was saying...
Timi Pre-Silva.
Timi Pre-Silva was saying that because they found the vaccine for COVID, that's what caused the increase in the petrol prices that now eventually increase the pump price. So increase the crude oil prices internationally, and that affected the PMS that we have here. And he's also saying, I mean, I was surprised when he said that more Nigerians use diesel than petrol. I was like, really? Where did he get those facts? According
diesel,
to him,
kerosene.
because of the trucks that bring in the food to Lagos, they all use diesel, and he feels that the more Nigerians use diesel, as opposed to the Nigerians that use petrol in their homes.
He actually said that petrol is for the elites.
Yes, I think that's what he said.
Yeah,
they use diesel.
Everybody uses diesel.
They have those big generators and they use diesel. The elites they only drive with petrol.
Yeah, all the face me, they use,
I slap you rooms that
use
petrol. So the common man that uses petrol is not.
This is why they say our rulers are not in touch with the
reality.
This is just the simple fact. Because for him to even make that statement, he's lost touch with reality with us.
Story. There have been lots of harrowing stories from this judicial panel. So investigative panel has been, various people bring their cases. The police arrested my brother over failure to pay 3 million naira, petitioner alleges at the National Human Rights Commission panel. Quite a lot of stories, really horrible stories. And I just hope that these people find justice.
Amen.
Okay, Daily Sun, very quickly. Security challenges, army stretched to limit in 33 states, says Senate. Let's find the story we've not taken. COVID-19 vaccine by U.S. firm proves 94.5% effective. FG has no intention to ending strike, says ASU. More southern governors and leaders to join APC, reviews Uzodinma.
Yeah.
Okay, which story
the
are we
ASU
taking?
Story.
Yeah, go ahead.
The ASU story, the ASU are saying they have no intention of ending the strike, that after their November 4th meeting, the minister said, okay, Ngige said, let me go and think about it. And that he's still thinking, or he's still collating data that it's not only the IPPS that they are complaining about. They are complaining about the 2009 memorandum they signed, and in 2019 again, and that they haven't implemented it. They haven't dealt with the infrastructure.
Listen, I have an issue. You see, when they say shift ground, we've been talking about this issue over and over, day in, day out. Okay, the government have given 50 billion. You've asked for 100-something billion. They're giving 50 billion. Take that one first. I'm not saying you should stop the strike, but at least there should be some kind of a middle ground. And if we look at it in the interest of the people, so you're saying that the 30 billion naira should only be for ASU and not for the entire, we get that, but at least take the 30 billion naira first. Pay off the salaries that are owed for those that you can pay as soon as possible. The 20 billion naira for infrastructure revitalization, they should even start. At least we see that something's happened, not just have this stalemate that nobody's moving.
So one of the major problems why they are not collecting the money is because they are fighting the payments platform. So they are insisting that all the payments must come to the IPPIS. And I really do not know why they are holding ground on that payments platform. The government is saying we cannot pay you using another platform. It must be this one. So I don't know what's happening.
If the person that wants to pay you salary is telling you I'm going to pay you
through this one, you are insisting that one will not work. This is better. I don't know.
Yeah, they said their own is better, but we need to get someone from ASU to explain that to us. Because they might have a good reason. We are talking of
your employer, please pay me through them.
This is what I want.
So you have the one employing you, and they say, I'm going to pay you through IPPIS, and you still know that this doesn't work for you. In fact, interestingly, the ASU has said that please bring your inspectors to come and see how UTAS, if we can even work. And the federal government said, okay, we'll see, we'll review UTAS to see if something we can even use. But we don't. The result of that we've not seen it. We don't even know if the federal government is going to accept UTAS or not. But in the meantime,
you see, Mara, where I have a problem is, before this government came into existence, into power, previous government also had this problem with them. And we were all sitting at this table where we were gabbing the government and saying, our children are not going to school, they're at home.
Yeah.
Now, it's the same problem. Now, you people campaigned and promised all this will be rectified, and it's still the same thing. Children have been at home since March.
It's unfair.
It's unfair. It's unfair to the children because most of them can send their kids abroad.
Right. That's why we're asking both parties to shift ground. Listen, we can all lament and complain, but if we're going to be really objective, everybody should shift ground. Let us move in the interest of the children, and that's where. And unfortunately, we can't read this. Is not our hot topic today, but we have to really move on to other topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
Thanks for staying with us. So, months after lockdown, Nigeria now feel it's safe. A lot of Nigerians feel it's safe to let their guards down. Hands are no longer washed often. Face masks are almost forgotten. Mass gatherings are no longer a problem. Parties, weddings, and even protests are back. However, the World Health Organization has warned us about the second wave of COVID-19. Now, you can join the conversation at 090-241-63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YoviTVC so we can read your tweets. Okay, many of you know I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I'm guilty as charged. Because over the weekend, I did go to a party and I posted on Instagram. So everybody said, there's no face mask. You need social distancing. Yes, we are all Nigerians. And the truth is that we've all gone to parties. Because I posted my own doesn't mean that I'm the only one that is the culprit. Everybody is. Because we don't see you in your various cupboard. But we are all Nigerians. We've all gone to parties. We've all gone out without using a face mask. We've all refused to do social distancing. We've seen everybody at parties.
Don't say all.
We're hugging now.
Most of
Don't
us.
say all.
Okay,
because
most of us.
I'm very, very
particular
about it.
Right.
And, sometimes, you're sitting down, you're eating or you're drinking, you can't wear your face mask.
Right.
So I take it off. And people might get offended.
Right.
Because when they come towards me, I put it on.
Yeah.
If you come towards me, I put on my face mask. I'm protecting you and I'm protecting myself.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned. So please, if you see me and I put on my face mask, it's not because I want to offend you. It's because it is supposed, this thing is real. I'll give you an example. My cousin just recovered from COVID, and I never used to see that my cousin with a mask. I used to, where is your mask? He will go and he has underlying health issues, so he was very lucky. And it's not cousin, distant cousin, it's my first cousin.
Wow.
And during celebration, we had it was a virtual celebration, so I wore my mask all the time. But even with the virtual celebration, you have people around. And my cousin was lying on the couch. Bros, everything is all right. Everything is all right. But because he has underlying health issues, everybody thought, this is underlying health issues. On the Sunday, another cousin took him to the hospital and he was positive. Now imagine and I sat beside him. If I hadn't been wearing my mask,
you would have caught it.
Myself, I'll be in hospital now. That's one.
So Waike, thank you for taking us there, because that's the reality. I mean, we can laugh about it, but the truth is that COVID is still here with us, and all of us must retrace our steps. Even myself, because I wanted to say it clearly, because I know the trolls are waiting for me. They're waiting for me to finish this show and now come under me. And I'm just admitting it to you that yes, we have all fallen short of the glory of COVID-19.
Even when I'm talking, I mean, you can be with someone, you want to take a picture, they say, oh, no, please remove your mask. So I will remove my mask out of politeness.
Right.
But when I get home, I'm always maybe this is the day I've caught it. I don't know.
Right.
And it's the truth.
Be careful. Yes.
On a lighter note, though, during the protest, the way the crowd, people, I was thinking by now we would have had several people fall ill or several people died and all of that. So I've just come to a realization that this COVID now is not like malaria. I don't think if they test any of us, say that we all have it. We must have had it 1, 2, 3 times and we don't even know, and it has gone. I said on a lighter note. So because the way people move around now without precautions, we should have more deaths, but we are not having it. So it could be something in our genes that is actually saving us, but I would still ask that we take the proper precautions.
This is where I want to disagree with you. I will agree with you on one. I believe that maybe because we've had malaria, a lot of us have built immunity towards malaria. The COVID-19 is not hitting us the way it is hitting the Western world. We have vitamin D, natural sunlight, so it's not. But don't say it is not hitting us, because think about it. In the last 2-3 weeks, you've heard about not 1 death, not 2 deaths. not 3.
And they said strange
You have
illness.
of several deaths.
Me, I've not heard of any death. Nobody
Around
around
me,
me has
no,
died.
no.
Me, I've
No,
nobody has-
your ears are not open. Your ears are not open.
My ears
If
are
your ears
open.
were open, I'm telling you, a friend of mine, his brother died. He said when they took him to the morgue, they were just bringing in dead bodies. There was queue.
YK, in this
No, but you know
Nigeria.
we've
In
had
this Nigeria.
No, you know
Hey.
we've heard
Yeah,
that.
don't-
That haven't finished.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, YK.
I said,
How come it is you that are hearing all this story? We have not heard this
my
one.
own ears are to the
Yeah,
ground.
they're
You are
open.
blinding your ears
Yes.
by putting cotton over your ear. I don't even
evil in
understand.
Jesus' name. My 18 elevate is not evil. Please.
I heard another one yesterday
Hey.
that died. I remember seeing this person. He came to me, this was maybe about 2-3 months ago, and he was not wearing a mask. And as soon as he came to me, I just did like this. And he was talking. Now, I hear now. I don't know what killed him. It could be.
Could be.
My point is, my cousin said that while he was in hospital, they gave him a blood thinner. They gave him blood thinner because they said that the people are having blood clots that is killing them through this, from this COVID. One line. That the thing, so they gave him that blood thinner. So when you are just hearing, this one just died heart attack.
Strange
You hear
illness somewhere.
something year old, he was just sitting at home, he just collapsed, boom. Nadeski. Think about it. Now put your ears on, remove those earplugs you put inside your
You don't
ear
have earplugs.
so that you can hear well.
Okay, so let's get
Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. Thank you.
I must take you to the serious.
Yes, thank you.
And because me, I'm in.
And
What you call high risk.
Yes,
That's why your ears on ground. You're in the high risk level.
But
okay,
I would
on,
also-
on a
okay.
serious note, I mean, yes, listen, we've all, as we said, we agreed that we've all kind of gotten, let our guards down. But the truth is that we need to get very precautious going forward. We need to begin to wear our face masks and try to observe social distancing. When you enter the malls, they don't allow you to enter without
Yes.
the mask. The school,
use
the
your
kids'
sanitizers.
school, you have to enter your mask. So I think let us go back, let us retrace our steps. And those of us that like to go to parties, nobody says you should go to party, but please observe social distancing. I need to
How
start
now?
going.
You won't hug?
No, I won't dance again. I will just stay in my seat. Like YK, I'll remove going to eat. And I'm serious. Listen, we have to be realistic because we don't want what's happening in Europe to happen to Nigeria. What's happening in the US, where they said about 100,000 people have gotten COVID in one day. I mean, those are figures that are startling.
That's the
so,
US.
So we have to ensure that we don't want that in Nigeria, and we have to
And
protect
also,
ourselves.
fear kills faster than the COVID-19. So
Okay, Shembo.
why we are not seeing so much death is because people are a bit more relaxed. They are trying what they can do, but there's no fear of, if I talk to you, if I don't stay these parameters away from you, this meters away from you, and all of that. So let's avoid the fear. That's one. Let's also try as much as possible to eat healthy. I know a lot of us came up with the habit of taking our ginger, a lemon. Those are drinking, our are drinking. We have all of these
We are still
natural
drinking in my
herbs.
house, so
We're
I'm
still
still
drinking.
drinking
Yeah,
in my
have
house.
lemon and
I'm
ginger
still
every
drinking.
day. And it could be what is saving us. You can't say. Let's just say.
I'm still drinking my agbo. I'm still drinking my lemon and ginger. I take my vitamin C, vitamin D, omega, everything. I'm taking everything.
YK overdose.
In fact, I'm a walking pharmacy as you are saying me like this.
So YK doesn't want to die.
No, you can't die now.
YK
Please.
doesn't want to
I'm
die.
let me see my
I'm
grandchildren grow up
telling you,
small.
amen.
So that is why I take all the in fact, everybody in the house, they are drinking agbo with me now. My brother went out on protest. He didn't wear his mask. Everybody from abroad was calling him. You want to wear your mask? It's true. And this is somebody who hasn't been out for 7 months.
Wow.
He's not stepped out of the house. The day he now stepped out, he stepped out into
protest.
I told him, I said, the Koro will say, fresh body, see
Fresh blood.
fresh body. Because all of us, it has probably been touching all of us.
One way or the other.
They are
Okay, we
fortifying
have to wrap up
themselves.
on
Today
this.
is Tuesday. Why?
Listen, we've made this, we've laughed over this. Let's bring it back to the seriousness that it deserves. Yes, we are laughing over it because we are Nigerians. We like to, be jovial about everything.
Life is
but
hard here.
Yes, but the truth is that please keep safe. We have to wrap up on this. BC, we're going to say something.
Yes, I want to say that let's also advise people around us. A lot of people still argue that there is no COVID-19, probably because they haven't seen deaths. Let's tell them that it's real. You should take all the precautions. Make sure you have sanitizers in your bag and just do what you need to do.
And keep your ears on the ground, like YK said. Me, my own ears are not on the ground.
Remove
so I
the
don't really
cotton
know.
bud.
I would try to, maybe I don't know, because by God's grace and mercy, nobody has died around me. By
Around,
God's
yeah.
grace and mercy. Not because doctors were better, but I've not heard of anybody by God's grace, honestly.
Okay.
I've numbers, but I'll keep my ears on the ground and try very hard.
Keep your ears on the ground. You hear that maybe this person down the road died of it. No, it's strange illness. It's strange illness.
That's what they call it now.
It's heart attack. Everybody's heart attack that is killing everybody now.
So it's no more COVID.
It's no more COVID. It's heart attack.
Like, please decide, is it COVID or is it?
I'm saying, because my partner is always fighting with me. When I just hear somebody, I say, it's COVID. So what is wrong with you? Everybody, I say,
everybody's COVID.
My cousin now confirmed that the blood thinner is giving everybody heart attack. I said,
You have linked it well.
And I went to my partner. I said, you hear what they said? Now it's COVID, though.
Anyway,
Just looking at me.
we have to wrap up. I think we've gotten the
quiet.
message. We've gotten the message. Please, let's continue to stay safe. Stay safe. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So moving on to another topic. According to reports, water has become so rare at the University College Hospital UCH Ibadan for patients, including newly delivered mothers, are turning to pure water sachets to get cleaned up. This is the report according to journalist Soyombo. Pregnant women who naturally urinate frequently force themselves to suppress the urge just to avoid using toilets without water. Now, so this was the journalist that did an expose on the police, I think it was last year. I think it was Soyombo was his last name, and he did this expose, and it was important for us to get somebody to verify or to even tell us what's happening, and that's why we're inviting over the head of Information Department Public Relations Officer, University Teaching Hospital, Toke Akinrinlola, joining us on the show. Good morning, sir. Are you there? Hello, sir. Are you there? Hello. Good morning, sir. Are you there? Okay, we're still having connection issues, but this report came in, and it was quite disturbing. It was Fisayo, yes, Fisayo. I was trying to get his first name. So the journalist Fisayo Soyombo did this report, and he did this expose. Yes, good morning, sir. Are you there?
Yeah, I am here.
Yes, good to have you on the show. So you are the PRO for UCH. Based on this report by this journalist, Fisayo Soyombo, could you give us an update on what's happening at UCH?
Pardon?
Could you give us an update concerning water? They said that there is no water in UCH currently. Could you tell us what's happening right now?
I don't think that position is correct.
Okay.
Because as we speak, the main areas and emergency areas that you have water in UCH have. The theater has water running. The intensive care unit has water running. The labor ward and the gynae ward. All of these places have water running in them as we speak. So it's not correct to say that water is not running in UCH.
But according to the report, sir, it was said that the women who just put to bed were asked to buy sachets of pure water to be able to clean up.
No, this is not correct, like I said. You see, apparently, let me just say that though some of our facilities have aged, the hospital is 63 years old this month. So some of the pipes we had have been laid since then. Some of them are bad, and all of those things have happened to them. We are currently working on the entire water system of the hospital, the water reticulation system. However, we are aware that some places must have constant water supply. So we are mindful of all of those places, and we ensure that there is water running constantly in all of those places. And apart from that, we have big jerry cans, water cans in all of these, in all of our wards that we fill with water. So if there is, any shortage of water, those cans are always filled. So you can always revert to them when there is water shortage.
Right.
But as I speak with you, and at all times, the labor ward, the gynae theater, and even the labor ward theater, and the wards in which they are put after delivery, all of them have water running in them as I speak with you.
Okay.
So where do you think this investigative journalist has gotten his story?
Pardon?
The investigative journalist, Fisayo, where do you think he's gotten his story from? Because apparently he went several days and he spoke to several patients who said they had to buy pure water and who couldn't use the bathroom because the toilets. Where do you think he's getting his story from?
No, see, if Tayo said he came to UTA to speak to some patients and didn't talk to the management, I don't think that is a balanced journalism. Because if he spoke with patients and he sent out videos, there's one of the videos he sent out that is not UCH. The facilities there are not UCH. The pictures there, the colors of the doors in the video he sent out are not in UCH. So we're trying to get to that truth. But he didn't talk to anybody in the management. But like I said, because I'm here, and a lot of people have come in here, and they are still here. We have water running in the essential places.
Right.
That we should have water. In other areas where we have broken the walls and we are trying to replace the pipes, yes, you can say there might not be water, but not in sensitive areas that we know that can create problems.
All right, sir. Is it possible to show us, maybe like do a tour of the facility, show us the running water and a few of the patients? Is it possible so that people can be rest assured that you are saying the truth? Is it possible?
You mean you coming to do a documentary, or we doing that for you?
I mean, well, either way, but I guess it's important for us to see visual evidence of what what you're saying. But either way, you've said that the critical theaters and wards have water, but the other less critical parts, what are you doing to ensure there's consistent water across the entire university teaching hospital?
There are, for instance, in the residential areas, we have boreholes installed in some of them. Quite a number of places within the hospital, we have boreholes that serve. But our main water system that go to the wards, the clinics, the theater, and the ICU, that we have, that comes from our water treatment plant, they are working, like I said.
Okay.
Boreholes are in the residential areas, while the main water flows from our water treatment plant. And every emergency area, the accident and emergency, the theaters, the ICU, the labor ward, and the gynae theaters, all of them as I speak with you.
Okay, I think we'll take your word for it then. We'll take your word for it. We'll take your word for it. Thank you so much for sharing, shedding light on this for us. We appreciate you joining us on the show. We're speaking with the PRO officer, University and Hospital, Toke Akinrinlola. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, we'll continue with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So before we move on to our next topic, Fisayo Soyombo called in to share his own experience with us verbally on the phone. Good morning, Fisayo. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning. I'm here.
Yeah, good to have you. Yeah, so a few moments ago, we had the PRO of UCH on the show to tell us exactly what the situation report was at the UCH based on the report that you had actually published. Could you give us further insight into what you saw?
Okay, so first of all, let me say it wasn't even a report. So I think as the public relations officer of such an institution, because, people already messaged me, and then I understand that he said I didn't even get in touch with the management. I don't have to get in touch with the management if I'm putting out just a video. It's not a report. It's not an investigation. It's not a feature. So it's just a complaint from patients, who feel that kind of situation should not be happening at a tertiary institution like the UCH. I understand he said the videos, the video, just one that I put out, it's gas wasn't, I didn't put out things that I am not 100% sure of. Okay. This video was recorded, by a patient, and what I put out is just the abridged vision. If Mr. Akinrinlola wants me to put a full, I will do it. And it will include at least one easily recognizable, one patient that has been at UCH for months, and they have refused to discharge because the patient doesn't have the money to fee herself. A patient who can't control her urination and, messes up the place. And then I wanted identity of that patient, which was why I stopped the video at that point. So if the CRO is insisting it's not UCH, I can send out the full video.
Okay.
So that people who know can tell him that this is your patient. Patients are human beings. When you put them in conditions that are beneath human beings, they will talk. I expect someone like the PRO to properly advise the chief medical director of UCH and say, let's solve the problem. The CMD put out a statement on the day I did that video, owning up to that challenge but explaining it away.
Okay.
Several patients, past patients of UCH, came on that thread on Twitter and Facebook to say this has been a recurring problem at UCH.
Okay.
So they should solve the problem rather than try to demonize the journalists and what do I stand to benefit from.
All right. Let me just take in one question for you before you run off. Yes, please.
All right, Fisayo. So it was a report. Like you said, the patients reported to you. How did they send in their report to you? And how did you get the videos? Did you just rely on their own accounts? Or you actually went there to see things for yourself?
Patients had been complaining to me. Now, as I said, it wasn't a report. Patient who was there recorded that video. I know the patient personally. I know her condition.
Okay.
I knew the day the patient went in. I knew all the time the patient had been in. Like I said, in recognizing patient that they know at this week that can no longer control her urination.
Okay.
They all know this patient. They are coming on air to say what they are saying because they need to keep their jobs. And that's not what we need in this country. We need people who are passionate about this country, who want institutions to work, not people who cannot think beyond their pockets, beyond their earnings.
All right. Thank you very much, Fisayo. I appreciate it. I wanted to just hear your thoughts on this. Thank you for sharing that with us. Now, moving on to the next segment. Diabetes, our focus, is one of the major health development challenges in our society. The report has it that there are currently 366 million people living with diabetes. And this figure is set to rise to over 550 million by 2030. Joining us on the show is an endocrinologist and president, Endocrine and Metabolic Society of Nigeria, Professor Fisayo Soyombo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have you. You can call us on 090-241-63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your TVC so we can read your tweets. I know we have loads of tweets on COVID-19, so I'd like us to take a few of those before we now even hear your thoughts on COVID before we now talk about the diabetes. Yes, Waiki, go ahead, please.
Okay. Bilikis Fagami says, I applaud you, ma. This might sound funny as you say you are a walking pharmacy, but it's the responsible thing to do, ma. Prevention is better than cure. Paulinus, I sent him the number. Good morning, Murayo and your team. Sometimes I feel like contributing on your program. Don't have the mobile contact. Please, I want to contribute to the COVID-19 issue, and it's very important. So I sent him the number. I've been hearing left and right center, Owambe has resumed in Nigeria big time. There is no COVID. People have thrown caution to the wind, but Koro is still very much out there, and prevention must be adhered to. Do you have any?
Let me build. Okay.
Just Nancy says, Nigeria, our country. Sickness is like a fashion in our country. It's only taken serious when it's new. And
okay, let me build on that. Let me build on that.
And just one more. Sorry. Murayo, Nigerians are thick-skinned, and they need special approach, as many die without diagnosis. The experience of one who survived it is enough to make you dress like you are spacebound. Caution, please. It has neither color nor smell.
Thank you very much. So before this segment, we had discussed COVID-19, and many of us have thrown caution to the wind, as the Twitter said. Many of us attend parties. We don't even use face masks anymore. I mean, I am number one culprit. Let me just say that. But I am here because we want to retrace our steps and want to do it better going forward. Because if we show the example, many people will follow. So tell us exactly your own view as a medical doctor. Have you been engaged with COVID patients recently? And what's the situation in your own view? Is it really subsiding as we think, or is still really much out there?
Well, thank you for having me on your program. COVID-19 is still very, very much with us. Even the NCDC figures you will see every day, they still range from 100 to 200. And this is on the backdrop of the fact that the number of people that should be tested are very, very few. There are some countries where as many as 100,000, 500,000 people are tested on a daily basis. We sometimes don't get that done in months. So it is a very high prevalent condition, but unfortunately many people don't believe, many people are not tested, and even those who test positive, they hide their diagnosis. I've been invited to funerals of people who died from COVID-19, and nobody in such funeral even knew that the person who was being buried had COVID-19.
Yes.
I've been to social engagements where everybody in the hall was without a mask and we were sitting like sardines, and I was the only one wearing a mask, and I felt very out of place when everybody was staring and saying, what's wrong with this man wearing a mask here? And even just last week, I went to my town in Ekiti State, and when I reached there, everybody was saying, Ebokini Idano, remove this thing, it's not in this place. So that is the attitude. So the problem is people don't believe.
I don't know if people don't believe. I think we generally believe, but we just feel as if we are immune to it. We can't die because we hear all these figures abroad, people are dropping like flies. Here, we are not, we don't seem to be dropping like flies. We seem to be beating it with our goals and our working pharmacy lifestyle. And I mean, if I heard YK said she's a working pharmacy, she takes vitamin B, E, F, A to Z, she's taking the vitamin. It's not even healthy. So in your view, is it that we are somehow immune to it, do you think?
We are not immune to it. I think the level of people that are affected in Africa is much less than in other countries. But it does not, there is no special immunity that we do have. People feel that the reason why we might show some relative resistance to it could be due to things like vaccinations with BCG, which many people have, or recurrent viral infections and bacterial infections that people have in the community in most of the developing countries and the third world, that somehow makes us a little bit more resistant to the condition. But those who have had it, there are people of all colors, of all tribes, of all ages, of all sectors, because some people feel it's an ailment of the rich because they hear a governor tested positive, a president tested positive, a musician tested positive, so they feel it is a disease of the elite.
Okay, we're going to quick break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation with our guests. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So we're still talking about diabetes now. BC had the questions. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So anytime I hear the word diabetes, what comes to mind is probably the disease of a very fat person. And some of us really do not understand what diabetes is. So can you tell us what it is and some of the types so that we have a better understanding of what diabetes is?
Thank you. So diabetes is a condition that is, I mean, it's something that is quite common in the Western world. We have about 470 million people suffering from it right now. And when you say a person has diabetes, what you're saying is that the person has a blood sugar that is persistently higher than normal. Every single person has sugar circulating in his blood, whether or not you take sugar, because sugar is like our petrol, like our fuel. But with diabetes, the numbers or the figure of the blood sugar is persistently elevated. It is partly true that diabetes is commoner in people who are obese or people who are overweight. But there are some people that have diabetes who are even skinny because there are different types of diabetes. The type 2 diabetes is the one that you have typically described, one that occurs in an overweight or an obese person, usually in the middle age. That is the predominant amount of people that have diabetes type 2. But the type 1 diabetes occurs in younger people, sometimes children as young as 1 year, as young as 2 years. Wow. Those ones may not be obese. In fact, most of those ones are skinny. And many people will attribute other ailments to this type of diabetes before either the patient is lucky to have the diagnosis or the patient dies without people being aware.
So once diagnosis is made, people are always scared of how expensive it is to maintain. Do you think, is it now affordable? Because back then it used to be so expensive to manage diabetes. In your view, is this something that is affordable now in Nigeria?
Well, when you look at the minimum wage of Nigeria, and then the typical expenditure of a person with diabetes, you know that it is not affordable. A person that has type 2 diabetes, for instance, most of them are on 2 or 3 different types of tablets. Some of them are on injections. And then they have to check their blood sugars on a regular basis, almost every day. Some of them also have to test their urine. So you find most patients are spending between 10,000 to 30,000 for their medications.
Wow. Monthly?
Monthly, because diabetes doesn't also come alone. Many people that have diabetes also have hypertension.
Wow.
They also have high cholesterol values. So you are taking medications for the diabetes, for the hypertension, for the cholesterol. So an average patient in Nigeria with type 2 diabetes will be on at least 5 medications. So that takes them about 10 to 20,000 naira. So you can imagine if that person is a minimum wage earner of 30,000. It means he can't even afford it. So what many of them now do is they try to either reduce the dosage of the injection they are taking or reduce the number of tablets they should take, and that leads to shortened lifespan.
Is it true that once you've been diagnosed with diabetes, you have to stop sugar completely? Anything, like even rice has sugar, so is that true?
It is not true. The person with diabetes can eat almost anything. What we do tell them is that they should take little or no refined sugars. And you'll find refined sugars inside soft drinks, inside table sugar, inside honey. So those will contain, yes, cake, pastries. So we just tell them to avoid those. A person with diabetes can eat eba, can eat amala, can eat tuwo,
rice, uncle,
can eat rice, but preferably the local rice, like ofada rice, because it is not so refined. A person with diabetes shouldn't take over-refined food.
Let me take this call from Badagry. Michael, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah.
You're live. You're live, Michael. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, you people are talking about the topic you discussed before, the diabetes.
Yes. It's your view. Let it count. Go ahead.
People are being nonchalant attitude. Do we have COVID-19 in Nigeria? Do our doctors know what is COVID-19? Our medical practitioners. I don't think they know the meaning of COVID-19. They only had maybe the Western world that such sickness is existing, and they are just promoting it over here in Nigeria. What I expected from them is to go and do research and know how come about that sickness. If it is existing at all in Africa, I'm not sure it's existing even in Nigeria. And they should make a way and look for how to get their own drugs, if at all is existing. And they are here just promoting it, talking about masks. Who even told you that the mask can protect you from contacting that COVID-19? Is the mask, does it have any chemical applied to it or anything that will scare the sickness away from contacting it?
Thank you very much. Michael, you live in Badagry. Thank you very much for your view. So Michael is a Nigerian that doesn't believe in COVID-19. I mean, we obviously need to do a different show for Michael because we need to re-educate Nigerians. The truth is that, I guess you're right. There are people that don't believe it exists. So we need a new show for that. But let's go back to the issue of diabetes. Prevention. I mean, people tell us you can actually get it from your parents or it's passed from generation to generation. How true is that? And can you prevent yourself from getting it? Can you protect yourself from getting diabetes?
Well, diabetes has 2 major predisposing factors. One of them is the one we call environmental, meaning that things that we can do or things that we do wrongly. And then the other one is the hereditary aspect. If a person has 1 or 2 parents with diabetes, he or she has a higher risk of diabetes. But the diabetes won't occur except you do something else, and those are the environmental aspects or the acquired aspects. For instance, a person who knows both of his parents have diabetes and every day decides to take 4 bottles of soft drink and 2 bottles of beer, that person is really heading for it and will certainly have it. But a person who has both parents with diabetes, and even before his own diagnosis of diabetes, he has started to exercise. He has kept his or her weight within the prescribed range, watches what he eats, lives a healthy lifestyle, doesn't smoke, doesn't take alcohol. And then every day with his step counter, he's doing like 10,000 steps daily. That type of person might not develop diabetes even if all his siblings around him develop diabetes. Yes.
Yeah, before your alcohol question.
Why you just what I have?
Before that alcohol question. So I know that some of us are not in a habit of regular checkups. So, but and sometimes we don't know we have something till after it has exploded. So what are some of the symptoms that people may see that would likely tell them this is what you're about to have so that you can start preventing or treating?
Well, diabetes is one of the non-communicable disorders, and many of them don't have symptoms. For instance, hypertension doesn't have symptoms except it's complicated. Diabetes, more than half of the patients don't have any symptom. But those who have symptoms, they should consider themselves lucky because something makes them now have to go to hospital. A person who typically has the classical symptoms of diabetes will be drinking excessive quantities of water, will be passing excessive quantity of urine, will be eating like a horse, and yet will still be losing weight, might have generalized itching, may have blurred vision, and if it's a lady, might have history of recurrent miscarriages, which many people think is Obanje or Abiku. But many of those people actually had diabetes in pregnancy. And if it's a man, could have erectile dysfunction or impotence. So those are the features of what we call classic diabetes. But more than half of our patients don't have any symptoms.
So it means that I can eat, and I put on weight. I don't have it.
You're not likely to have it.
But I hear that somebody, if you pee on a spot and it foams, that's diabetes.
Or ants gather.
That is one that is more characteristic.
Okay.
Foaming of the urine can occur if you're having protein in the urine.
Okay.
And a person with diabetes can have protein in the urine either from an infection or from kidney damage. But the one of ants gathering around the urine, that is one of the classical symptoms. Some people also taste their urine and they say, well, the urine was so frequent, I decided to taste a little bit, and it tasted like honey. In fact, in the olden days, the way to diagnose diabetes was to arrange, if you had 10 patients, all of them will bring their urine, and the doctor had the misfortune of having to test all the urine.
They can taste their own themselves.
Now, so let me connect it a bit to COVID-19.
Wouldn't the doctor catch it?
No.
Let me connect it a bit to COVID-19 because we've been told that diabetes is one of those conditions, as you have underlying conditions, that can actually make you the fatality point of COVID-19.
Make you go over the top.
Yeah, so if you're diabetic, how do you protect yourself from getting COVID-19?
Well, if you have diabetes, the way to prevent COVID-19 is still the same for the whole population, which means physical distancing, wearing of masks, washing your hands frequently. But the problem with diabetes is that if a person has diabetes and is very well controlled, meaning he's taking his medications, blood sugars are brought to within normal based on the medicines and the lifestyle change, such a person doesn't have a much higher risk than the ordinary non-diabetic person. The people that come down with the mortality of COVID are those who have diabetes that is poorly controlled. Because some people have diabetes, they can't afford the treatment or they don't want the treatment.
Why are they more at risk if they have it? What happens with the diabetic patient? Because COVID-19 is the lungs.
Yes.
So diabetes is the blood, the stomach, the insulin.
Excellent question. What happens is that when you have diabetes, the immunity of the person is generally reduced. So a person with diabetes that is not well controlled is at a higher risk of tuberculosis, is at a higher risk of COVID-19, is at a higher risk of sore throat, common cold. Anything has a higher risk when it comes to infections. And that is why people with diabetes, if they have a sore on the leg, it doesn't go. And some of them, it starts to fungate and smell until they remove that leg. Most people will have a sore on the leg, and in the olden days, you see people, they will put spirit or put engine oil, and the thing will heal. But with diabetes, it's not like that.
Unfortunately, we have to wrap up, but no more questions at this point. But I'd like you to very quickly respond to that caller who lives in Badagry and said that there's no COVID. It's important for us to at least speak to people like that categorically. Please, I'd like you to look into that camera and talk to him. And
there's a tweet again that's saying COVID is a hoax. The government played us, destroy 2024s, want to control our lives. This is the Andrew. So please answer this.
Yes. So for Andrew, the other one, was this Samuel too?
I think it's Michael.
Oh, Michael, yes. COVID-19 is not a hoax. There is COVID-19. I have seen them. I have treated them. If you go to most of the hospitals, whether federal or states, you will see wards that are dedicated to COVID-19. The positive point you do have, though, is that sometimes the hype for the condition is much more than how common it is. For instance, COVID-19 is not as common as diabetes. It's not as common as malaria. But you see that it takes a lot of attention. So there is COVID-19.
On that note, we have to end the show. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. It's a pleasure having you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Hope you've learned a few things as we have. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.